You know that sound, that beep at the checkout? For a long, long time, that's all it was, the sound of a sale. But what if I told you that simple sound is now more like a heartbeat, the pulse of a much bigger, smarter system? We're going to explore how that old-school cash box transformed into the command center, the actual brain of a modern business.
Right? So this is the big idea we're really digging into. We're not just talking about taking your money anymore. No. Imagine a system that's also keeping track of every single item in the store, knowing who the best customers are, even predicting what's going to be a hot seller next month. And hey, maybe it'll help with marketing too. That's what a modern point of sale or POS system really is today.
And honestly, the difference is it's night and day. I mean, look, on one side, you've got the classic cash register. Let's be real, it's a calculator with a drawer for cash. It had one job and it did it. But then you look at the other side, the modern POS. That's not just a single device anymore. It's an entire ecosystem, right? It's tying together sales, what's on the shelves, who's buying what, all of it, into one powerful hub.
Okay, so how on earth did we get from here to there? Let's take a look at that journey, from a simple box of cash to a brain that runs on data.
So let's get on the same page about what we really mean here. A POS system isn't just the physical counter where you pay. It's the whole technology behind the scenes. You know, the thing that lets a business take your card, keep an eye on sales, manage all its stock, and get to know its customers. It's basically the central nervous system for any retail operation.
Yeah, a modern POS wears a ton of different hats. I mean, of course, it handles the transaction. That's a given. But it's also your inventory manager, right? It's watching the stock levels in real time. It's your personal data analyst, churning out reports telling you what's flying off the shelves and what's collecting dust. And maybe most importantly, it's your CRM, your customer relationship manager, helping build loyalty because it remembers who buys what.
So what's the payoff? What happens when you actually install this brain into your business? Well, the results are pretty huge and they happen fast. Just look at this boost. Efficiency just shoots up because you're automating all these tedious tasks. Your data gets way more accurate, no more fat-fingering numbers. And maybe the biggest win, you're not just guessing anymore. You're making decisions based on cold, hard, real-time data.
But, having this powerful new brain, it can be a bit of a double-edged sword. Anytime a technology grows this fast, the risks tend to grow right alongside it. So now let's flip the coin and look at the challenges, especially when that explosive growth gets way ahead of the security needed to protect it. And for a really powerful real-world case study of this, we've got to look at Nigeria. Back in 2011, the country's central bank kicked off this massive initiative they called a cashless policy. The whole point was to modernize the economy, right? To get all that physical cash moving out of people's pockets and into the actual banking system. And their main tool for making this happen? The point-of-sale terminal.
And the result? It was absolutely explosive. Just look at this timeline. The number of active POS terminals just went through the roof. This wasn't just about making things a little more convenient. It was a massive economic shift. It created tons of new jobs and brought modern banking to places that had never, ever had access to it before.
Get a load of this number. Almost 1,976,898. That's how many active POS terminals were in Nigeria by the middle of 2022. I mean, that is just a staggering story of success, of modernization. But when you have growth that fast, that widespread, well, it tends to cast a pretty long shadow. And here comes the twist. All of that incredible opportunity, it created incredible vulnerability. All of a sudden, you have these small-time POS operators, many of them still handling a lot of cash, and they became, and I'm quoting here, easy targets for robbers and fraudsters. The risks really came from two different directions. First, you had the physical danger. Literally, robberies targeting these operators for the cash they had on hand. But then you had the more high-tech stuff, right? The digital threats. Things like card skimming, where crooks steal card details right at the machine, and all sorts of other electronic scams that took advantage of this brand new technology. But dealing with crime is only one piece of the puzzle. It turns out the biggest hurdle for any new tech isn't always the technology itself. It's not the hardware or the software. It's us. It's people. Are we actually willing to use it? And are we able to?
Yeah. When you boil down decades of research into why we adopt new technology, it pretty much comes down to two really simple questions we all ask ourselves. First, is this thing actually useful? Is it going to make my job or my life any better?
And second, is it easy to use, or is this just going to be a giant headache? If you get a big yes on both of those, people will almost always jump on board.
So what's holding businesses back? Why isn't everyone using these things? Well, the barriers are pretty real. The high cost of getting started, that's a huge one for sure. But then there are infrastructure problems. Like, what good is a fancy cloud-based system if your internet is spotty or the power goes out? Then you throw in worries about security and not having enough training for your staff, and yeah, you've got some pretty big hurdles to get over.
But here's the thing. Despite all those challenges, the evolution of the POS system is actually speeding up, not slowing down. So where is this business brain going from here? Let's take a peek into the future, an integrated future that's already starting to happen.
Okay, the first giant leap is moving to the cloud. What this does is it basically sets your business data free. It's no longer trapped on one single computer in the back of your store. All of a sudden, a business owner can check their sales data from their phone, from home, from anywhere. And that means a ton more flexibility, it's way easier to grow, and you don't have to buy as much expensive hardware.
And the next big thing, it's got to be artificial intelligence. Just imagine a POS that doesn't just tell you what you sold yesterday. Imagine one that uses AI to predict what you're going to sell next month. It could automatically reorder supplies for you, suggest personalized deals for specific customers, and spot trends that even the best human manager would probably miss. This is where the brain starts getting seriously smart.
And finally, let's talk about the Internet of Things, or IoT. Basically, this is where the POS system connects to a whole bunch of other smart devices. Think about self-checkout kiosks, or smart refrigerators in a cafe, or even vending machines, all of them talking and reporting back to that central POS system automatically. The POS really does become the conductor of the whole orchestra, the brain in charge of a whole network of smart tools.
So, with all this amazing tech, how do you make sure people will actually use it? How do you avoid the same problems we saw earlier? The answer is taking a user-first approach. It really all starts with empathy. Like, you have to truly get what problems your user is facing. From there, you can brainstorm, build little prototypes, and test, until what you have at the end isn't just powerful, but actually genuinely easy to use.
Which brings us to one last really big question to think about. As this business brain gets smarter and smarter, it's collecting data on every single thing we buy. And yeah, that has huge benefits, but we've got to ask, who really benefits the most from all this new intelligence? Is it the business that owns the system? Is it the tech company that built it? Or is it you, the customer? It's something to think about the next time you're at the checkout and you hear that little beep.